And first of all, thank you very much for finding time for me. And before get into anything, who's got the harder job right now, Kevin or Jesse?
That's a tough question. I'll give my perspective, and then let him give his perspective. I would say I have the harder job. Like obviously tonight we got his car and my car, so I'm trying to focus on my car, drive the car. I'm my own crew chief with help from crew, setup and tire stuff and prep. I have to be kind of like the boss of the show and then go drive the car. And then on top of that, in the same night when he races, be his crew chief as well, asking him how his car felt and making adjustments for it. So I think I have the harder job, but he might have a different outlook or perspective. I also try and I'm pretty much the boss of the entire race team. So as far as finance and everything and organizing payments for bills and stuff, my wife helps out with that a little bit, but I pretty much take care of ordering all the parts and getting tires when we need them and things of that sort. So I feel like I have more weight on my shoulders from week to week than he does. He does help out a lot in the shop as far as preparing the cars, and then once we get to the track, he does help on my car, but for the most part focuses on his car, and I want him to concentrate on driving and watching other drivers and picking up on what he can.
Thank you, Kevin. Jess?
I would probably have to agree with my dad. He's definitely kind of the head of the race team and makes all the decisions that is required for a leader in the race team. So I'm kind of doing the behind the scenes stuff, like washing the cars, prepping the tires, grinding them every week. There's just a lot of work that goes through the week that you need to, as they say, you win races in the shop. So he's definitely a big part of like the setup stuff, and anytime that I have questions, I always go to him, which is the team leader. So I definitely would agree with him that he's has a bigger role in the team and definitely working harder than me. I just have the easy job of driving it, and I'm thankful that I have somebody like my dad that's in tune with the engine stuff and the setup stuff, and I'm able to talk to him, make setup changes with him, and it's honestly a really cool experience that I have somebody like him.
Awesome. And Kevin, you are out there most Saturdays in a stacked modified field of 20 cars, 20 plus cars. What does staying competitive every single week take out of you that a one-off big night money doesn't?
I would say the biggest thing to stay competitive is staying in tune with the setup and how the car is working on the track that we have, and just keeping an eye on the track and watching how it changes throughout the night and making the appropriate changes. The engine here at Bridgeport Speedway is a big part of being able to run up front. You have to have the good power. We have Murray Racing engines in our spec car, and I believe right now he's leading the pack as far as engine builders right now. He's very good. Him and his team. Alex Jankowski's part owner in that operation, and all the guys up there, Fred and all the guys, they do a great job giving us enough power to be able to be up front. But another thing here at the track is just the setup, is making sure the car is getting into the corner good and enough side bite and forward drive to come off the corner and make the passes and stuff, and having a proper balance in the race car to keep the lap times as low as you can and be maneuverable through the field to be able to pass.
Cool, I see. And let's go back 1 month ago, June 20th, when you ran second several laps right on Tramontana's bumper. Before go down got around you too. What actually changes in those closing laps? It was like car giving up or something else?
So Bridgeport's a very tough track to negotiate where you need to be, and the lane kind of changes a little bit throughout the race. So I'll honestly go back to that feature when we had the bad accident, the red flag accident. Prior to that restart, there was a yellow flag, and Tramontana, we went down the front stretch. I got a really good restart with him, and I went down the front stretch, and he kind of went in the middle. I went to the top side, and I figured he was going to slide to the top, so I kind of turned the car and went to come under, and he left that top lane open for me, which I was unexpecting. But when I turned the car to come under, he was there in my way and kind of blocked my run to drive under him. So when the yellow came out later in the race, I thought, well, if he's going to give me that upper lane, I'm going to stay in the gas and try and drive around him and come off at turn 2 and see what we can do. And we got a good restart with him again, and we went down the front stretch, and again, he went to the middle and I went to the top, and he gave me that lane. I was just getting ready to put the gas back down to drive up beside of him, and they were telling us in our radio, red, red, red. So I believe that was a key part in the race, that if we would have stayed green right there, if I could have gotten the lead, I feel like I would have won the race. You never know how a race is going to play out, but that would have been a good chance for me to get the lead, and then kind of coordinate any restarts after that would be, I would be the leader. So, you can't ever tell what's going to, happen throughout an event, but I felt like my car was really good. When we went back to green after that red, I didn't get as good of a start, and he cleared me pretty good and kind of had the lead, and just had to run that lane behind him for a little bit, and then I got racing with Ryan, and I don't think my car was 100%, but I feel like if I could have gotten to the lead, I could have won the race. So that basically answers that.
How much is the more important to take care of engine sometimes than just running flat out like no money?
Yeah, so this particular track is very hard on the engine. So when we race other places like Grandview Speedway, for instance, which is the track we came from, throughout the event, as the track gets slicker, we start to back out of the throttle and back the corner up, so to speak. So we're letting the engine breathe. It's taking a break in the corners and then back in it, and we drive off. Whereas Bridgeport, it seems like the lane kind of moves up throughout the race and momentum takes over, so we're never really giving the engine a breather. So once in a while, if we're going like green to checker, we have done that already, 30 laps nonstop here. I will get into a situation where I do take a couple laps to just give it a little bit of a breather, to let it cool down a little bit, and just so it's not going flat out from start to finish. It's not great for an engine. Again, we have really good engines, so but anything can happen. You get a part failure, things of that nature that have catastrophic failure. But we do let them breathe once in a while so that we can make it to the end, because it's constantly building temperature. We do run a big fan and have louvers and stuff, but when it's hot out, 90 degrees, as the feature goes on, temperature just keeps climbing, and when we don't get a chance to let it breathe a little bit, you could have a problem.
You mentioned the temperature, and this is my next question. What's the hardest part of your job in the car physically? I mean, not strategically, physically. Heat, neck, hands, reaction. Where do you feel a 30-lap feature by the end? What do you feel?
So the other week when we ran that feature nonstop, I would say maybe 10 or 15 laps to go. My upper body, because I'm kind of a smaller guy, it really was playing a toll on me. We were pretty much strung out in the event. I was running with a pack of cars. The outside was so fast I couldn't move to the bottom to make any headway. So we were pretty much running flat out on the top, and when you do that and you don't ever get a chance to get out of the gas or run the bottom and take a breather or a yellow to just catch your breath, a guy my size who doesn't get a chance to work out in the gym weekly because I'm so busy with the race cars, my upper body, holding my neck up in the seat and just physically turning the wheel, it gets a little tiresome late in the race, for sure.
Thank you. And my next question is to Jesse. Jesse, you had a chance to compare modifieds and sportsman cars. What is the difference? How do you feel it?
Definitely feel it most in your neck, I will have to say. I run a carbon fiber helmet, so it's a little lighter than most people's helmet. I know recently they've been pushing out carbon fiber helmets, so my neck is probably the worst part. We ran modified at Grandview 2 times now this season, and that was a major thing, my neck. But anything with upper body doesn't really. I think honestly the modified steers better because of the power steering. With the belt runs faster on the engine, but that would be the only thing. But also, yeah, horsepower is definitely a bigger part too. Kind of have to be a little more reactive of like other cars and where you're at on the track, and kind of have to when the track gets slicker. I ran Grandview with the modified, so it's way different than Bridgeport, but definitely kind of just getting the horsepower feel. It was, I think, 2 years before I was in the modified, and then I just got in one this season. So
what are you doing differently in the modified car that you are doing in the sportsman car?
definitely the engine's more. You need to keep up your maintenance more with a modified engine compared to a crate car. But as far as driving, you kind of have to be aware of your surroundings a little bit more than a crate, because a crate slows stuff down. The modified, you have to be on top of it, and you have to be kind of aware of where you're at on the track, so that you're not getting passed by people, and you got to be able to hit your mark every lap, or else there's going to be cars going by you.
And talking about sportsman cars as a cars school, what does it teach you comparing to modified cars?
It definitely teaches me a lot of stuff with different lines I can run that keep your momentum up, and it's kind of like it's known as a starter class. So anything that's like, how far away am I away from this guy, or how low I can go on the track, and kind of the basic stuff. Some of the stuff kind of compares to the crate car to the sports or the modified car, but probably just learning all the techniques that, there's a little bit more of throttle control that you have to have with the sport or the modified, but the crate car for sure is kind of like a learning class.
Thank you. And Kevin, what does Jesse do in a car that you didn't do at his stage, and what does he still need to learn that only laps will teach him?
I'd say the biggest thing he does that I or maybe something he doesn't do that I did. My dad didn't race, so when I started out, I was a little more rambunctious, and I raced Grandview, so I got out of a quarter midget car and went right into a modified. They didn't have Sportsman in 1996, so I was on the tow truck way more. When Jesse started racing, I told him that weekly, if we could keep the car off of the tow truck, when we have it back at the house, we can make it faster for the following week. If he's crashing the car and busting it up, we have to work that much harder to get the car fixed to bring it back to the track, and then try and work to make it fast. So if we can keep it straight when we leave the racetrack, we can work on maintenance and making it fast when we come back instead of having to repair it. He's done a phenomenal job in the 5 or 6 years that he's raced to stay off of the tow truck. That's one thing I had a big problem with in my early career. In saying that, I didn't have my father in my pit to give me driving tips because he never drove the car. I was on my own the first year. My dad had a driver, so I kind of ran my own show for the first season. And then the second year, my dad was my crew chief. So in that first year, the biggest mistakes I was making was crashing the car and having to fix it every week rather than try and make it fast. So the second part of that question was...
What does he need? He still needs to learn. But that only laps can teach him.
Yeah. So I would think just maybe if I had to critique him at all, to be able to not make some minor mistakes throughout the event. He still makes he's very good, but he still makes, because he's young at it, he still makes a couple mistakes here and there, just changing his line around or not moving early enough. He might follow a guy for 4 laps before he decides to switch lanes, where if he had switched lanes earlier, he could have passed him earlier and gotten to the next guy. So maybe some of his second and third place finishes may have been second and first place finishes, but I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job. He's leading points. He already has a win this season. He passes cars consistently every week to run up front in the top 5, and I couldn't be more proud of him where he's at in his career from the start to where he's ended up now. How much he's learned. It helped him big time to come to Bridgeport. It was tough to leave Grandview. I started my career at Grandview. He started his career at Grandview, so it was very difficult to leave there. We live 5 minutes from Grandview Speedway. And it was a tough decision to make, to leave there. I've known Doug for a long time, but to bring him down here to race on a bigger track, to change his line and get him a little more aggressive on restarts, he learned a lot coming here, and we definitely think it was the right move on our part.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And Jesse, what's one thing you've watched your dad do from the outside? What you learned from him watching your dad from the outside? Line, patience, car management. What you are actually trying to copy from him?
Definitely kind of avoid some of the mistakes that he makes, but I'm also watching GoPros every week and kind of learning what he's doing, and kind of I can learn also with kind of some of the stuff that he does. I can also take away and use with the crate stuff. I mean, growing up at the racetrack and watching your dad every week, you kind of get in that state of mind of watching how the track changes, or him switching up his line, or different things like that. But definitely, it's definitely you definitely kind of grow up with it, and also learn as you go and are more into racing, and it's just kind of like a natural thing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And my question for both of you: what do you think is essential for the success on the tracks like Bridgeport?
Definitely, probably maintenance every week. We're fortunate enough. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have my dad that kind of went through all of starting up a team, and then also kind of where he's at now. He's a mechanic, so he's very in tune with engines. He built his own engines for a couple years, and can still do it. So he's definitely kind of like a maintenance freak. He wants everything done a certain way, mm-hmm. and it's nothing like it's very helpful for me, because going to the track, you have a car that's capable of winning, capable of running up front, and capable of passing cars. So that's definitely a crucial part in the race team. And we'll get his thoughts.
I would agree with him to a point. Bridgeport in particular, any racetrack that we go to, I feel like if you don't do the work in the shop to prepare your race car, clean it, go through, maintenance the engine, check the valves, clean the air filter, service the carburetor on a weekly basis, go through the car from front to back, manage your shock program, and putting the shocks on a smasher and a dynamometer to run through and make sure the car's consistent when you come back to the track. That is a very big part. Here at Bridgeport, on top of that, Bridgeport's a very difficult track to maneuver and be able to pass on, just because of the high speeds we run at, especially the spec cars. I think it's crucial with the Sportsmans, but the better job you do in a Sportsman to keep your momentum up, because you're all running the same engine at the same power, at the same level. If the driver's better at keeping his momentum up, letting the car roll off the corner a little better, he's going to have a faster lap time and more mile per hour around the track. So he's going to be able to pass cars much easier than a guy that's scrubbing speed with a limited horsepower engine. With the modified, we're kind of all fighting for the same real estate, because there's usually one dominant lane out there. So your car almost needs to be better than your competition, mm-hmm. to be able to leave that lane and go to a different lane to make a pass. So, and that's sometimes where I struggle with. I might be fast enough to stay with the guy, where we're kind of all chasing Ryan Godown. His car, he can maneuver around the racetrack. When there is that dominant lane, he can leave that lane and get to a different lane and make a pass. So that's why you see him up front. A lot of drivers like to throw out the cheating word. It's like, if you watch the race and watch how his car operates on the racetrack, try and duplicate that and make your car do that. He's not cheating. He brings a very stout piece to the track. He's got a lot of backing, and they're good at what they do. So I feel like everyone right now is chasing him. He's, I think, been the dominant car, and just got to be a little better as far as maneuverability, and then you can make passes.
Great. Yes, I completely agree, because I came from the world of rally raids, and we also had the most successful races prepared back in the shop.
Correct.
Yeah. And my closing question to both of you, Kevin and Jesse: what is the one thing that you want to prove to yourself?
I feel like at my stage in my career, I'm already up over the top and heading back down the other side of the hill. So I really, at this stage in the game, I really don't have anything to prove to myself or anybody. Anything that I was going to do in a race car. I think the one or two things that maybe slipped through my fingers over the years were consistency to win a championship. I never did that. And maybe winning the Freedom 76 at Grandview Speedway. That one has eluded me, and I finished second twice, but we have won the big Crown Jewel Forrest Rogers Memorial over at Grandview Speedway. But the championship and winning that Freedom 76 would have meant a lot to me. And we will return hopefully for some of the Freedom 76 races in the future, but I don't really have anything to prove to myself or anyone else. I'm happy where I'm at with my career. I'm happy being Jesse's crew chief, and helping to bring a competitive car to the track for him every week, and helping him means more at this point in my life than driving the cars myself.
Thank you very much. And Jesse?
I think the main goal for this season was to get a track championship with the crate car. That's something that I kind of wanted to do in my crate career. I think it would satisfy me a lot. I don't think it would be something to prove, but it would prove that you have consistency and you're constantly up front every week. And them rough nights where you start 17th, you can rebound from them, and it won't affect your consistency.
More of an accomplishment than proving it to someone.
Yeah, it would be more of an accomplishment. Like I said, it was a goal at the beginning of the season to try and get this track championship. But every week when you go to the track, you're not trying to prove anything. You're just trying to do your best as you can, keep your mind in a good headspace, and during the week doing your job to make sure that you're up front every week. But anyway, I would also like to win the 38er this year. So at Granby Speedway, that would be something. I finished second in that 2 times already. So, and the last race I lost it by 300ths at the last lap. So that would be something that it would prove that I'm capable of winning that race. I mean, I probably should have, but definitely let it slip through my fingers the last race, and that was very heartbreaking for all of us. So not really anything to prove, just kind of being consistent, making sure you have a car that's capable of winning every week and passing cars every week. So that's probably the biggest thing, going to the track week in and week out.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this wonderful conversation, very insightful, and let's see what's going to happen tonight.
Yep, thank you for having us. Thank you for doing the interview.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.